Hello, everybody. So excited to have this conversation on the eve of Shavuot, the Milky Way. It's a good little tongue-in-cheek. Thank you, Isaac, for that scheduling. Very excited to welcome up Maya Kenig, director of the film, for the conversation.
I'll pick it up.
There's so much to talk about with this film. There's so much to talk about around gender, class, capitalism, so many things to talk about. But I know that the pressure is very intense on women in Israel to have children, to have the perfect family. We have women in this film who are struggling with that and are not sure about their role as mothers, or at least have felt forced into it a bit. Would you talk a little bit about that choice and why you were so excited to make this film?
Yeah. Sorry, it's very overwhelming for me, this situation right now. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very intense thing in Israel. Like there is, like you said, a lot of pressure on women. I think there's always this the expectation of you to be. I don't know if it's just. I guess it's everywhere, but in Israel it's very strong. This need to be, to raise a family, to be this perfect mom, and I think I had to do this film because I felt there was a big gap between what's expected of you and how women present themselves, and how they really feel inside their homes and inside. Even not their homes, even they hide it from their family members many times. It's just inside themselves. And stuff that I felt, stuff that a lot of women around me felt. And that's it, more or less.
Definitely. It seems like there is sort of a loss of identity in some ways for some of the women that they feel. Can you talk a little about that? I feel like there were some pieces through. There was like a chest bump moment, which I thought was really interesting. That kind of is jarring for the audience. Can you talk a little bit about that and about what that was signifying at the time?
Yeah, I mean. Can you repeat the question?
I'm sorry. And if I'm mixing the two, then we can separate them. But I was asking first about the loss of identity that the woman seemed
the loss
to be
of
feeling.
Identity. No, the chest pump was threw me away. It threw me back away.
I was projecting.
Yeah, definitely. There's this. I mean, so many. Men and women, especially. I mean, suddenly, like you were this person, and then suddenly you become mom, and I think a mother, and it overtakes you completely, and you don't know anymore who you are and who you were before, and you're trying to. I think this film, I tried to talk about this very first time of bringing a child into the world, and when you try to kind of synchronize between your previous identity and your new identity, and this time, some people it takes like years, and in this film I try to like compress it into like a few months, very intense few months where you go through this tunnel, and at the end it's kind of synchronized, and it's kind of comes together, and you make peace between your new self, I guess. And I mean, it's a process you keep doing all your life. Now that I have an 18-year-old girl who's right here, she's I still, it always changes form, but that's something you always have to deal with.
Has she seen the film before? Is this
No,
her first
it's
time?
her first time.
Wow. Welcome.
Sorry to embarrass you.
It was really beautiful to see. I'm not a mother, but I obviously have many mothers in my life, and it was really beautiful to see, even though there was that loss of identity, see the women come together, even from different backgrounds and some maybe head-to-head backgrounds at the time, and find community, find that themselves, I guess, through their bond.
Mm-hmm.
That was really beautiful.
That's something very strong. I think that really we kind of miss each woman, like this red tent, I guess, where all the women gather and they just want to be together, and that's their comfort, and that's part of. It was obvious for me that had to also be presented in the film, how women gain power and they go through this thanks to other women who help them and take them forward.
Definitely. I noticed, I don't know if this is related, I noticed some patterns in the clothing, the wardrobe, the colors that were chosen for each of the characters. Would you talk a little bit more about that and the choices behind that?
I guess the colors, it was obvious for us that we wanted this specific lilac color for all the pumping ladies. I don't know, it was just intuitive, I think. It wasn't, I don't think there was anything like, what's the word?
Intention behind
Yeah,
it.
not intent. Yeah, I mean, we just it felt right to put the women who were taking care of the babies in like yellow, kind of yellowish, not yellow but mustard color, because I don't know, they are done. They're like I don't really know. I can't rationalize it completely. It felt right.
Definitely.
And
I noticed that the women at home were wearing very like neutral kind of beige colors, like very simple. And then we have Tala, who's like always decked out and wearing all different colors. And I didn't know if there was something there, but that I guess it just furthers the storyline, so that totally makes sense.
It felt that's part of her, like her identity, like we were saying, like trying to keep her still with her old clothes and trying to still be what she used to be.
Definitely. And she very much breaks from tradition. Actually, both of the main characters do very much break from tradition of what the classic family structure looks like or what women do in the home. Can you talk a little bit more about that and your choices with those characters specifically?
I guess you mean with Nili and Tala?
With Nili and
those
Tala,
two.
yes.
I just I wanted to talk about a woman who is a woman who deals with it, like who chooses to do it by herself. Like it's not like someone knocked her up and now she's stuck with it. She decided to do it, to go for it. I thought it was like an interesting. I thought it was interesting to look at a woman who does it by her choice, and to see how she's dealing with, trying to deal with raising a kid by herself with the help of her mom, and I mean, and Nili's character, I think, I just wanted to show the a reflection and like an opposite picture of a woman married and being in this conventional sort of structure, and how both of them are not really finding themselves, I guess, and how it doesn't necessarily work. Like it's not working completely in any structure.
And Hila Ruach did incredible job in that role. She really
I agree.
embodied Tala. Can you talk more about how she was cast and that choice that you made?
Yeah. So Hilawah, I don't know if you know, but she's like really an indie singer. Like she's quite famous in Israel, and she's a singer. She's not really an actress. I mean, she acted in a short film, and I think she's incredible here, and she's an incredible actress. But it wasn't like an obvious choice. My producers, for example, they didn't want me to take her because they were worried. It's like such a big role, and there's not one scene in the film where she's not appearing, and it was a risk to take someone who's so inexperienced. But I really met so many actresses who were amazing too, but I felt like I could really believe that this story could happen to her. Like,
she sold it for me.
Hmm?
She sold it for me.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, I felt like I'm watching the character I wrote, like she's, and also I think, so I did so many auditions to her. I mean, I met her so many different times and I had to like apologize to her because I kept telling her, yes, it's you, and then no, I'm sorry, I can't take you because everybody's worried. But then eventually we did it, and I'm so happy. And what I also wanted to say is that because I think I took her also because I really like her music and her performance. Like she has so much charisma, and really eventually she wrote the music with other partners, but she's really a big part of the film. So it was like a really right choice, I think.
She fit very, very well. I think we're going to go over to questions. We have someone up in the back, or so. Sorry, we're down here.
We'll start down here.
We'll start with her daughter. Perfect.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Her daughter.
Misread.
First, can you hear me?
Yes.
First of all, ahavti haseret, harbe, which means, for those who don't speak Hebrew, I love the film a lot. And I thought that the lead actress was amazing and that the direction was perfect. I wanted to say that I think that pressure on women, especially working women, to try to juggle everything is really strong, not just in Israel, but being a Jewish woman, child of survivors, I wondered if you think that our background and the reason for the state of Israel is something that even puts more pressure on women to, number one, procreate, and number two, to raise strong, perfect children to make up for the past.
Everybody heard the question? I think so. I mean, I'm sure it affects, like there's always this demographic race in Israel where we have to be many and to ligvor, to overcome the enemy, and yeah, we have to be strong. We have to, sure. I mean, we have to be strong because otherwise we'll be destroyed. So it is part of the pressure for sure.
We have another question over
here. Yeah. First of all, I think only in Israel can there be such a creative, original story. I don't think we have any American films that are just so creative and talk about the society. So thank you. I'd like to know what in your own personal life resonated with any of the characters that you wrote or the story?
So many things of my life resonated. Like I can find myself in each character. I mean, for sure, Tala, the main character, where I was. I was this young girl and having fun and going to parties, and suddenly I have a baby and I have to take care of her, and I don't know how to do it, and I feel like I'm ruining her life. And why did I do it? And I mean, not all the time, of course. I mean, I love her. I was crazy about her from the very first moment, but I had to deal with stuff like that. And the rich woman, I feel like also like all this hysteria about am I doing the right thing, always worrying maybe I'm not giving her the right food, maybe I'm not, that kind of stuff. And also the story about this woman who one of the girls from the factory who is her baby was taken from her, if you remember from so that was like a story running in my family about this relative who her child was taken away from her because she had her own romance with someone, and there's many stories like that that everything got into the film.
And I saw it was dedicated to your mother as well. That was a nice full circle. Is there any inspiration there?
Yeah, of course. I mean, my mom, she passed away 7 years ago, and I was very close to her, and we had all kinds of ups and downs, and that's something that also resonates a lot with my life, which, like, she was alone many years. Like, I mean, she got divorced from my dad, and then from the other man she was with, and like many years she was alone, and she was always like working hard and struggling, and she was very much a mom, like in all her being, and was really what defined her. Like she was, we, her kids were the most important thing for her. So she's in every frame here. Like I always, every day I think of her, and I think of her motherhood and me as a mother, and how she helped me also raise my baby when she just arrived.
We have a question up here.
Thank you for sharing and for this incredible movie. And I love these Q&As. They really add a lot of meaning to every movie I've seen here. So there seems to be a lot of commentary on the world that we live in this movie. As a man, I'm sure I'm missing a lot of points. But you created what seems to me a fantastical world. So there's even a point in the movie, at least many, I should say, where I was like, where is this going? How did you come to develop this specific storyline? It was so interesting and wonderful.
It was a very hard work, actually, like, because I had this idea about the factory, the milk factory, and I thought, wow, that's an incredible idea. I have to make a film like that. I mean, first I looked for a film about that, and I couldn't find it, and I said, okay, I have to make it. And then I thought, okay, but it's a good idea, but it's always so hard to live up to a good idea, because you build this world, but then what next? And really, it took me time, a lot of time, and a lot of hard brain work to think what do I really want to talk about? Because okay, it's a cool idea, but what is really interesting for me and really resonates, as you said, to my life and to my being, and was definitely about motherhood and about class differences and what happens when two women from different classes who are deal with similar problem, what happens when they meet. I always knew that I have to make them meet, the two women, and to see what happens. And yeah, it was a very big challenge to always just to think of how they meet. I mean, how do you make them meet? That was you have to invent this whole storyline. It was with a lot of help too, like writing and rewriting and letting people read, and always thinking what. I always wanted it to be non-realistic but realistic, that everything would be possible. Like it's not. I didn't want it to be like implausible. I wanted it to be, okay, it doesn't exist, but it could have been. It could have existed.
We'll take our last question up here.
Thank you. That was different. I can't say that I liked it. I have absolutely trouble relating to the characters and the whole idea. I know I've seen young women that have trouble adapting to being a mother, but it's so foreign from my own experience. And also, I just had a question. Don't they have La Leche League in Israel?
Don't they have what?
La Leche League. La Leche League is a breastfeeding organization.
Yeah, they have it, sure.
Yeah, so I thought that might be in there somewhere. But anyway, it's different. It's good that you let this character be expressed.
We'll take one more question. Is there anybody right here? Okay, Juliet, you got it.
We have a question here.
But what was the question, actually? If they had La Leche? Yeah, we have it, but it's...
I hope mine's okay.
It's...
Last one. Just curious if we are to imagine at the end that she does get back together with, is it Oded, the father of the baby? Just wondering how to think about that.
I didn't want it to feel like they are gonna be together again. I mean, I just wanted it to be clear that I didn't want it to be like a men-hating film, like all men are. No, once he realized his father, it took him a moment to adjust to the idea, but then I did want it to be clear that they're not going to live happily ever after, but he's going to be in the picture, and he's not like, he is taking responsibility, and he's going to be a part. And I really didn't want it was also a big argument between me and the producers, because they really were worried that it would look like they are now going to be a couple, and it's a really sweet, happy end. And I told them, no, I think it's obvious that it's not the vibe. I mean, that they're just going to be friends, and he's going to be around, and he's going to he's going to know his baby. And isn't it clear that it's, you were wondering?
I thought so, yes.
Yeah.
Happy ending, running, which I thought was good.
Yeah.
Thank you, folks. Thank you. Wait, ma'am, hold on one second, ma'am. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. Take your seat. I want to give a huge thank you, first of all, to Maya Kenig, to Caroline Calandro for moderating this. I have to say, in the tone of that ending, yes, I mean, like, just like the last line, it's not like, yes, we lived happily ever after. Yes, no, I'm not thinking about it anymore. I'm dealing with, with being a mom. It's really, I think, a very honest film about parenthood and modern parenthood in Israel specifically. Folks, thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you all. We'll see you soon. Join us for more. Have a